Hi, and I'm your host, Galaxy Starcraft. Welcome to an SC2 commentary. Yes, we'll be starting in just a moment. This is going to be between two players whom I'd never heard of before, and it is in the Zotac Cup. So it is a tournament, and we have Beasty QT, the monster yellow Terran, in the upper right, who says GLHF, and then GLHF Sir from Mr. Roll, the Protoss Beast, in the lower left as the red Protoss. This game is brought to you by SC2rep.com and our sponsors, the Michael J. Fox and the Back to the Future Crazy Club. I have no idea what I'm just saying. And it looks like that we are beginning with an exciting pylon for Mr. Roll. This pylon placement shows that he might be thinking about securing or blocking off a wall, making a wall so that Hellions can't come in there. And then let's look at what Beasty is doing. Beasty is building a supply depot right behind the Beasty geyser. We do see he is supply blocked for just a moment, but that is no problem at all because the barracks is not built just yet. And now he is 12 or 19 food, so no longer supply block. Good for you, Beasty. And Roll is now, look at this nice little rally point. At this point, if you are good enough, and here is kind of a bit of a wall with that gateway, so I was totally right there. Look at this little rally point. It is changing. If you do have the APM, and it looks like Roll does have about 200 APM at the moment, you can find the best place for your probe to go. The SCV and probes are now scouting after building the respective lower tier gateway and barracks buildings. So yep, they are scouting, and on this map is Xel'naga Caverns. You know where your opponent is. The point of scouting then, I think it was a little bit of a later scout. Often you'll see players scout right after, like on the 9 pylon, or the supply depot on 9, whatever, and then you can find out where your opponent is. It looks like a cybernetic score is going down, and a second assimilator, which does denote possibly a Stargate. It looks like that Roll has stolen an assimilator of Beasty. Very obnoxious play right there, which will limit what Beasty can do. If he is going for like banshees and whatnot, it will take a little bit longer for him because he has to get that gas later on. So as I was saying, I have no idea what I was saying, but perhaps a good time doing it nonetheless. Okay, a tech lab is down on this barracks, yay! And it looks like, ooh, Beasty is patrolling, wigging out with his SCV down on the bottom of Xel'naga Caverns. Yes, as I was saying, when you send out your initial SCV scout, it's really dependent upon what your strategy is. And like if you're on a 4-player map and you want to, let's say, double assimilator block somebody, you'd better send out that scout right away, because the first gas comes usually around when the barracks is being built. And we see that, oh, look, the stalker is shooting down the SCV and will die. Goodbye. So Beasty does not actually know what Roll is up to. He only sees 2 cybernetics cores, and this 1 cybernetics core, but a 2 gas. If we look at Beasty, his gas is very high at around 300. So so far he has not been able to make use of that gas, and he has no way to make use of it at the moment until he builds more sentries. Unless he would build some sentries, but he has built 3 gateways, so this could be a 4 warp gate push. Let's look in the production tab and see what's going on. Stim pack is out, and a command center, so a 1, I guess that was a command center after, it's probably the command center and then the barracks, so yeah, command center, 1 barracks into blah blah blah, into tech lab, into command center, into a 2nd, 3rd, and even a 4th barracks. Wow! So lots of bio play coming from Mr. Beasty. Beasty loves those bio units. No factory, no starport, or anything like that. So that is his opening. I wonder what his mid game. Eventually, he will have to get starport, for Vikings or medevac. So here comes the 4 warp gate push. The 4 warp gates are done. Probe production. It looks like Beasty is still making probes. And if you look at his gas, it's still quite high at around 300. So I don't know what he's planning on doing with that, but that is okay. It does not really matter just now. It looks like Beasty knows what's coming. He knows exactly what's happening. He's building a bunker, and he's going to have to hold this up. He's building 2 bunkers. If these ooh! Roll is pulling back. I felt like if Roll pushed up, rather than waiting for reinforcements, he could have, well, actually, he probably would have been quite a bit of danger, because that is a good amount of Marines and Marauders. But if one thing, even if this 4 warp gate push does not succeed, I don't like how you have one pylon here and one here, because if this warp gate push fails, then both those pylons will inevitably fall to the counterattack. But I don't think he's really going to be able to get up here, because there are a few Marauders, and he's not going to be able to do anything. He doesn't have any Zealots quite yet. Oh, there are a couple of Zealots. Zealots, they tend to want to take the damage, while Stalkers, they shoot in the back. So Zealots are the meat units. Ooh, looks like Roll is feeling quite intrepid and is just going to roll right up that ramp, and he's going to try and take... Ooh, look, he force fields to try and prevent SCVs. He does take from repairing the bunker. He takes down both bunkers, but I just think there are going to be too many Marines and Marauders here. Roll is not going to be able to get up that ramp. Stim has finished. If you look in the production tab, Roll is producing absolutely nothing, and meanwhile, he still has that 300 gas. It looks like that Beasty now has a... just a couple of few Marines and a couple SCVs on the way. One thing that this 4 warp gate push does do, though, is it delays this expansion from landing. So that is good for Roll, and hopefully Roll has a good follow-up to this, because I don't think that this 4 warp gate push is going to win the game. Usually, if all you do is build 4 warp gates in your base, you want to win the game with that. And if you can't with the first push or 2, you really need to build an expansion right away, or have some kind of follow-up plan. Roll has not built any probes for such a long time, and I think that's going to be a detriment to his economy. While this battle is going on, while it's actually kind of closer than I thought, I still think that Beasty is going to be okay, but Roll really kind of needs to fall back now. Anyway, if we look at the harvester count, 33 versus 26, so Roll does not even have a fully saturated mineral line, which is not good for him. Meanwhile, BC has way too many SCVs, and he really wants to get his expansion up. It's been done for a long time and has been producing SCVs. I think that right now, honestly, Beasty is in a very good position, and I think that he may win the game. Looks like Beasty, brilliant play, building a bunker right at the expansion of Roll. He knows that the 4 warp gate push is sort of all-in-ish, and he's building his bunker here. It's only half done, but it's going to delay any expansion being built. Look, Roll is now putting the Zealot down there to destroy this bunker. But brilliant play by Beasty with a wigged out SCV there. That SCV is on steroids, and it looks like Roll's 4 warp gate push has officially failed, and now he's just going to wait for... Whoops, he's going to wait for 400 minerals. You can see... Ooh, a little scan going off there. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the expansion. This SCV is kind of wigging it out, too. This is just a day where SCVs, like... Have you ever seen the movie called Outland with Sean Connery? It looks like the workers are given, like, a drug, and they are crazy. It looks like this SCV was given some kind of a weird, retarded, red-ass sucker drug. Oh, my God, they're going crazy just to make... Because, SCVs are... Oh, my gosh. It looks like, actually, PC is supply block 62 over 62. But I'm not going to laugh, because I get supply block too, as we all do. It looks like, actually, the supply count is quite even, 68 over 64. So, one thing I'd like to say is that Roll, although his 4 warp gate push failed, he's done a good job of securing Beasty. I mean, pinning Beasty to just one base. But now Beasty's going to push out and try and take care of this force. He does do his stim. Force fields go down. Although they're only 2 force fields in a very bad position, aren't able to separate the army. Oh my gosh, it looks like that Roll just has way too many units. Beasty has misjudged what he could or couldn't do with his army. I think that a couple of medevacs could have helped for sure. And it looks like Beasty's Roll is actually doing quite well, it appears. It looks like his expansion is just now finished. And let's go back to the production tab. Looks like he is now building a robotics facility and another assimilator. Oh, but Roll is coming right into the base of Beasty. I almost prefer Roll just hanging out here and pinning Beasty to the expansion, because if Roll loses all these units, that's a lot of Marauders, and if you notice that the Stalker count of Roll is quite high. Officially, Marauders do counter Stalkers. Oh, but great force field play, and this SCV really needs to run away. It will get out of there alive, and yeah, great force field there, preventing those Marauders from coming to kill these Stalkers. And I like how Roll is now has a couple more sentries and zealots. Too many Stalkers is vulnerable to a lot of Marauders, and we do see a lot of Marauders. Oh, yes, look, we do have a medevac on the way. And this orbital command has not been able to find a place to land. If you look at the income tab, it looks like that it's about even now. I would say even favoring Roll, because right now Beasty is using mules, and I would even land this. You know what, Beasty is just about mined out. I would even try and land this over here, because that would force Roll to move his army out here anyway. So then, you know, if Roll decided to go after this, I think that it would prevent the pin from staying, well, pinned, I guess. And these SCVs again are wigging out. I do think that they are on some kind of drug. Don't do drugs, guys. Oh, and Beasty using the medevac liftoff power to try, and he's gonna take Roll from both sides here, and Roll has done a great job of pinning Beasty to his one base. Great force field placement by Roll. He is taking control of this game. I think that, yeah, Beasty, yeah, I'm not mixing up these plays. Great play by Roll, but oh my gosh, look at these Marauders have all decimated all the forces of Roll. And if you look at the army tab, oh my god, actually, it looks like that Roll is ahead because his expansion did come out first. So, but I don't think the Beastie is out of this game quite yet. That is a lot of Marauders. What I think, the choice of getting Immortals is very good now, because Marauders are armored, and Immortals do that extra damage versus armored units. So, if we look at what's... I don't think the Beastie is going to be able to... He's angry. I think he just wants revenge right now. I think he's not going to be able to do too much. It's not really that many units right there, if you look. But looks like the forces of Roll have kind of dwindled quite a bit. But does have 2 Immortals and a couple of sentries. And he has shown that he has very good control with his force fields. So we'll just have to see if he can make something happen, possibly with force fields. And, oh, it looks like 1 Immortal has been taken out. And Roll has lost, is pulling out his probes as well. He's warping in a few more Stalkers, and I think that he's going to be able to hold this attack by Beastie. What Beastie needs to do right now is run away and just macro up, I think. He is deciding to get a Ghost Academy, which is a good choice, because Ghosts do that EMP, which is so effective. Let's look at the APM for both players. It is hovering between 120 to 200. Averaging, both players. I guess around 150, you could just say. And both those pylons were taken down. The pylon here and here. Anyway, that is incidental. It looks like Roll is now doing a little bit of a counter attack. The counter attack from Beastie did not work, so Roll is now coming back with his army, and I don't know if that's the best choice. I mean, usually when you go attack, you want some kind of a perp. Oh, look, yeah, look at that. Roll is actually now deciding to retreat. I think that is kind of the better choice. Because he is now going to try and secure a third, but Beastie will have nothing of that. If we look at Beastie Cam, he does have the Xel'naga Towers. Who knows what Roll is up to? If he could, maybe Beastie could just take out that first Immortal there. He does focus fire that Immortal. The second Immortal goes down. That is a lot of Marauders. They're going to be able to take care of these Stalkers quite well. And I think that Roll may just be seeing the end in sight. These medevacs are healing the Marines and Marauders. And this is going to be the final push from Beastie. Oh, Roll GG's. And thanks for tuning in. This was Galaxy Starcraft. And Roll not leaving the game Beastie not leaving the game just yet. That was sort of a back and forth game. It wasn't clear at first because, Beastie was pinned in his base for such a long time. Roll's failed for Warp Gate push he was able to come back quite a bit with bringing his Nexus up right before Beastie could land his orbital command. But let's just look at the unit producing structures. It looks like Roll has 4 gateways and 5 gateways and 1 robotics facility. Okay, and then let's look at Beasty. He has 4. Oh my gosh, 7. Looks like 7 barracks, 1 factory, and a starport. So I don't know. It's just he had more production facilities. That could be part of it. He did have +1 weapons, and I don't know. You decide for yourself why you think Beasty won the game. It was certainly back and forth, and there were some tense moments. But I'm just going to end this now. And thanks for tuning in. Cheers.